Hey everyone, and welcome back to Too Ambitious. I am so happy that you all are here with me. If this is your first time joining the show, this is the show that celebrates Black women and women of color entrepreneurs who are changing the world. That's right, these women are extraordinary, they're phenomenal, they're resilient, and they are some of the most innovative women you've ever come across. At least for me, they're absolutely brilliant. And today, I am super excited for my next guest. She is a wonderful woman that I met at a lovely dinner. You know, I like to say that whenever I talk about it. We met at a lovely dinner, you know. And her name, believe it or not, is Mariah Hancock. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She is the founder of a community based company called The Network. The network, it's where everyone is welcomed, and we love that. They embrace diversity to create opportunities for leadership development that goes beyond the status quo. Now, Mariah understands the true meaning of what it means to be a leader, to build a community where everyone has a chance to thrive. Brilliant. I love that. So I want you all to show her so much love. Let her know that we are here for her. Please welcome the incomparable Mariah Hancock to the Too Ambitious stage.
I'm over
Woo!
here blushing. I'm like, okay. I'm
Well,
ready.
welcome, Mariah. It's so happy to see you again.
Yeah, I'm loving. Happy to see you. It's always a great time when we're together, Trish.
Yes, absolutely. You know, when we met, I mean, it's almost a year now that we've met, you know.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
February.
the time is going by so fast. You know, we met at Aaron Gallagher's lovely dinner, you
Mhm.
know, and and it was wonderful. We just clicked, and you know, the work that you've been doing has been really extraordinary, and I love following your journey on LinkedIn. But you know, for everyone who is just coming to the party, why don't we set the stage a little bit? Why don't you tell us a little bit about the network, just so that we have an understanding of what is it that you do through your company?
Yeah, so the network we make leadership development accessible. I noticed there was a gap where C-level executives, the senior level executive have access to all these resources, leadership coaches, retreats, a plethora of resources. And however, the first time leaders, mid level leaders, the ones who need it the most, don't have anything. So the network, we have these events. We partner with experts who share their resources and expertise to the community. Everybody's welcome at these events. We have a sliding scale if needed, but yeah, there's no barriers at the network. I wanted to make sure that was one of the big things. Everyone is truly accessible and able to come.
Yeah, you know, you don't hear that a lot, you know, and we all know if, especially if you've been in corporate, there's always benefits to being in corporate where you get, you know, like you said, the executive retreats and everything like that. What were you seeing on your side of things that made you say, you know, things have to change. I want to make a change. What were you seeing on your end? Because you come from corporate as well, right?
Yes. I come from corporate, still am in corporate. But what I see, what I'm constantly seeing is that, um, my partner's a first time leader, and he's being, milk dry. We have all these leaders who don't recognize the leadership within themselves because they don't have the resources. Um,
Right.
Perhaps like I know stay-at-home moms wouldn't even consider themselves leaders. However, they're a leader in whatever their field is. So I want everybody to understand and step in their power and have the resources to be able to do what their passion is. Um, yeah, because we all bring something to the table. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody has gifts and talents that should be nurtured, you know. What were some of the things that you personally experienced that made you say there's got to be a better way, you know? Have you been sort of locked out of any rooms, as they say?
myself, I'm banging at the door all the time. I'm one of my whole life there's always been some sort of barrier. I was a young mom. I only have a high school degree. There's always some barrier that someone else sees prohibiting me from moving to the next step, or from calling myself a leader. So I wanted to make sure, and I have kids, so I want to make sure that my daughter knows that you're a leader no matter what you do, wherever you are. You're a leader because you say you are, and because you show up. So I'm seeing a lot of people not step into their power and know that they're a leader, waiting on somebody else to give them the green light to do something or to make their next move, waiting for the invite at the table. So in corporate, I'm seeing that, waiting for the invite at the table. When we have ideas, I think we need to speak up more. So there's tons of books and keynote speakers that I partnered with that can help us, and like yourself, can help us step into our power and, use these resources, and also with experts, help them share the resources.
Yeah. Who, I would like to think, because you talk about some of the things, the barriers that you faced as basically became entrepreneur, leading up to this point. You talked about some of the barriers. Um, how did you sort of overcome those? I don't want to say it like it's a bad thing, but I think we all know that society sort of has like, this is what you do. You graduate, you go to college, you get the job, then you get married, and then you have kids. So how did you sort of kind of carve out something for yourself to kind of push forward when you have all these societal expectations telling you that you can't?
Yeah, and I think for myself, it's myself. I'm totally different than everybody, than a lot of people. I kind of like the challenge, so so
Mhm.
I've always been like, you have to go to college to do this, and I'm like, why? I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad or anything, but I'm like, why? Like, who says that we have to, And since I've applied to jobs with only having a high school diploma, I've like seen myself work up the ladder. I'm like, okay, I can do it. Then you just gotta show up. So I kind of, I'm like a project in the making. I see myself doing it. I see others doing it, so I know it can be done. Um,
Right.
so yeah, and I've kind of always been that way. So they
Can tell.
they yeah they say like, what would you tell your inner child? And I was like, I'd probably say nothing, because she can speak up and talk for herself, like, just so
You're like, my inner child has been talking. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't even know what I would say to her. She's got it covered. Like, I don't she knows.
I love it. I love it. I think that, as we are all trying to figure things out, especially when you talk about building a business and navigating career and family responsibilities, you know, for you, you also have a full-time job. You are a mom, you're married, and you're building the network. How do you find that balance between it all? And also, how do you take care of yourself?
Yeah. So I'll start with the second one. How do I take care of myself? I kind of learned that, well, I have learned, I'm a project, I'm doing the thing. I'm not perfect. I learn, and I learn from my mistakes. How do I know that I have to make the time for myself, because if I don't, I'm kind of an angry mom. I am taking it out
Yeah,
on somebody else. So I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I need my me time, or else I'm kind of grouchy. So it's kind of
right.
learning, when I don't get that extra hour for myself, then it's not fun for everybody. um,
Yeah,
so kind of, I make that me time, because I know the other side. I know I've been micromanaged, burnout from a job, and I know that's not what I want. I don't want
yeah,
to try and put myself in that situation again. So I'm pretty firm on my boundaries. Um, and yeah, so I've read something. It was like, you have to have a container, have, your boundaries, in order
yeah.
so you can contain something and build
Right,
something.
right.
So, I'm trying to create those boundaries. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
And then, so the second part is, how do I make the time for it? And I know this is super cliche, but it's what I'm passionate about.
Mhm.
It's and I would tell everybody to follow your dreams, do whatever you're passionate about, because honestly, there wasn't a position or a title that I saw myself. Everybody asks, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what the field is for
Yeah.
me. But just, I kind of created my own, I've created my business model. I've created my position. So it's community-based, first-time leaders. Every time you look at a community, there's always some barrier to joining. There's always, not everybody is truly welcomed. And there's places for some of those safe spaces, but also some of them, are just, is it necessary? What do we need another elite network exclusive?
Right.
Like,
Right.
yeah. So how do I make time? Because I'm passionate about it. I want to make sure, there's a better world for my daughter. I want to make sure there's no barriers. So it's truly something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate with meeting people who are have aligned values. So yeah, it's just something that I love doing. And if I find myself not loving it, then I take a break. I take a break, disconnect, and find my creative self, and see what's the next step.
Yeah. Which makes a lot of sense. I think if you don't carve out that time for yourself, then we all end up in burnout. I think we've all experienced that at some point or another, you know. Tell me about like the first networking event that you hosted for the network, you know?
Yeah, so the very first like in-person networking event, excuse me, only like 6 people showed up. So and sent out a lot. It was a free event or whatever. So I'll just say that and I still went on with my presentation. I'll just say
Okay.
just and I hired a photographer to take pictures so I can put it on my website.
Hey, and I bet those pictures were bomb too,
Hey, there
right?
you go. There you go. They're still, doing its magic up there. But yeah, it's only 6 people showed up, and the 6 people who were there, it helped me practice. It helped me, put it in gear. Like, there's nothing else holding me back. I had my first event. So my first event wasn't all that it was supposed to be, but I made it happen with what with what was available.
Right.
Took that little baby step, because you're not going to get everything 100% as long as you're
Yeah.
taking those little
Yeah.
incremental steps.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 people came. We had a great time with the six
Yeah.
people who came. We still
Yeah.
talk, and I kind of like that it was more intimate. So
Right.
everything for the
Right.
best.
Absolutely. What was the initial goal? Like, how many people were you hoping to show up?
I just thought it would be easier to get free event networking. I didn't realize, even people would say they are coming, and then don't come. And I do that too. I have kids and stuff,
Yeah.
but now I'm more mindful, just kind of seeing how hard it would be to get people there to spend their time with you, because time's our
Yeah.
most important thing. So
Yeah.
trying to get everybody to see the value.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so after that first event, what what did you learn from that and how did you pivot for your future events? What changes did you make? I'm thinking of like all the people that are probably out there who are like, yeah, I'm going to throw an event because everybody thinks like throwing an event is like so easy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So what did I learn? Yeah, just I probably how hard it would be, and that how much value I need to put into the event. You can't just have, we're networking. It's like, well, with who and what am I going to get from them? So it's
Yeah.
just like making sure that there's value in everything. What you want to see. I was just going for the goal to inspire and stuff like that, but just getting very specific, and just making it valuable as heck.
Yeah.
So pour as much value into it as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can all walk away with something. um,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all have choices. We make choices to go to events, networking events, every day, and you have to decide, okay, why am I going to attend this event versus the other event?
yeah.
So, yeah, it's got to be packed with that value, like you said, so that totally makes sense. Tell me a little bit about the network and the services that you provide, because I know that some people might be interested in learning more about the network. I'm going to share your beautiful website. You know, um, so yeah, tell us
There's
about
the
some of the
event.
services.
There's the first event.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Wouldn't even
yeah,
tell. Um, I'm sorry. Oh, so what do I do? So right now, and I wish there was more. My events were up there, but right now, as soon as you get onto my page, there will be events available to everyone on there. I have some events in the pipeline that I need to upload. We try to
Yeah.
have events every month, and it kind of mixes it up on the expertise and specialty.
Right.
So I've done, how to publish a book. I hope to,
Ooh.
I'm doing another one, how to step into your power, branding. We have a retreat planned up.
Mhm.
So going to the website, you can go and figure out what events we have going on. You can subscribe and figure out what events we have in the future and what upcoming projects are next.
Yeah.
Because the next step is to have this community base. Once we have these events going, is to have, the community built, the membership built, where we can come
Right.
here and, invest in each other, invest in other experts, have mentors, business coaches, things that aren't available to the public.
Right.
There's always some barrier, and I want to make sure. I keep saying that, but yeah, it's because I'm a multiracial. Whenever I think about things, I think about my little brother, I think about my partner. So, I just am in a lot of different pots, and I want to make sure
Yeah.
that everybody has access to the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's such a really, um, community way to look at how we all sort of rise together, right? This is not an individual sport. You have access to resource, you share those resources, and I help you, you help me, and we all end up making our goals together. So I think that's wonderful.
Exactly.
What you've created, tell me a little about the audience that this is for. Who is this for? Who is your ideal community member,
So this one, it has always been like hard. When you have the business coach, they're like, "Who's your avatar? Who's your?" And I keep saying it's for everyone, but ideal. I mean, first time leaders, mid level leaders, but also, you could be a senior level leader, a C-level leader, wanting to
Mm.
pivot, write a book, wanting to do,
Yeah.
pivot to entrepreneurial journey.
Right.
So honestly, it's somebody who wants to step into their power, who wants to reap the resources, who knows that there's no top, there's no know-it-all.
Right.
There's always something to learn. So I can say first time mid-level leaders, but we also have a place for seasoned leaders, if you will.
Mhm.
um, so yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And it's local for everyone. And is it just based like in the Bay Area or
So yeah,
only?
it's we do have virtual events. The
Okay.
in-person events are based in the Bay Area right now. But yeah, everybody can join. We all have virtual events every month, every other month. So
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Access for everyone who may not be in the Bay Area,
mhm.
but maybe want to join from, any other part of the world or country. So
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic.
mhm.
So, another thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you about too, Mariah, is how you stay grounded, and how you take care of yourself. I know spirituality is a big part for you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So actually last year, I grew up spiritual and raised in a Catholic church and stuff like that because my mom. But last I told you a little bit about walking the path and learning from my mistakes and stuff like that. So I've
Mm.
learned, I'm like, why am I so like ticked off and angry when my kids do something or
Yeah.
like when I come back and I'm so like overcharged and something like that. So I make it, I'm intentional now. I read books that help me get grounded. I'm on this path to healing and know that there's no end to it. We're always just doing the
Right.
best that we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, like just reading books and walking, immersing myself in nature.
Mm.
I learned, I don't know where it's probably from a book that I read by Anna Dea Judith, but just kind of taking it back to being a kid, I know, is my happy place. So when I hang out with my kids and we're just like picking flowers, picking rocks, just, you know, playing at the playground and I'm going down the slide, I'm like, okay, this is fun. So
Yeah.
just, you know, taking it back to the basics, and knowing that all that extra fluff is unnecessary. This moment with the kids is honestly what matters the most. The journey is the destination. So there is no destination, is what I'm living by. So this is, I am where I'm supposed to be, you know, make the most out of it.
Yeah. I know you also, you're a big fan of the author Sheena Yap Chan as
Oh,
well.
yes. Yes. I love
Yeah.
Sheena.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So her book, The Tao of Self-Confidence,
Yes.
you've read that book, right?
Yes, Sheena was at
Yeah.
one of my she was a panelist at one of my events last year. So one of my virtual events. So she's based out of Canada, and we just met maybe 2 months ago. She was in the Bay, so we just met 2 months
Mhm.
ago. But yeah, I love meeting, like reading a book. So we think things are unobtainable. So I read a book and then I'll connect with the author. I'm like, wow, I love this book. Like I want to, so that's what happened with Sheena. I read her book, and she's Filipino as well. I'm half Filipino. So I didn't realize some of the things that I went through were like a cultural thing. So I didn't
Yeah,
even, yeah, I didn't even know. So I reached out to her. She's super awesome. But yeah, and she's coming out with another book here, I think this year. So
oh, nice.
yeah, it's just kind of, you know, meeting your tribe and making it happen, putting in, you know,
Right.
just supporting them. And yeah, everything is obtainable. The books you read, go connect with them, go learn from them, go, you know. So yeah.
Yeah. What's your biggest takeaway from Sheena Yap Chan's book? Because when you hear a book that says Tao of Self-Confidence, it says it's a guide to moving beyond trauma and awakening the leader within, which kind of ladders up to a lot of the work that you're doing with the
Yes.
network.
Yes. So exactly. So it's kind of, it's the whole stepping into your power. I learned a lot of in there, and learning that it's all within yourself, in
Yeah.
her book. So it's just,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, there we are. A lot of people that I'm meeting, I notice we're aligned in values, but we're also kind of moving through it the same. I just network with somebody, and I forget what he calls it, but it's kind of, it's always starting with within. It's so, you
Right.
know, never looking for that outside. It's permission or something. It's that
Mhm.
first step of, you know, just, you know, doing the dang thing, having
Yeah.
confidence, self-confidence in yourself, awakening
Right.
the leader
Yeah.
within. So yeah, it's always taking that first step is the hardest step, and then finding the resources to, you know, unleash.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, she had such a huge impact on you as well. And, I think, yeah, if you're going to recommend one book, I'm guessing that would be one of them. The
Oh
book.
yeah, I got a plethora. And so yeah, subscribe, if they subscribe to my on my website. I'm gonna have a book list come out. There's a whole bunch of books. Even Sheena, I'll ask Sheena if she wants to be a mentor, but you know, I have a whole bunch of books and mentors that are coming out.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's one book. You know, we got a lot of books out there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think that sometimes too, if you have to decide like which book to like read and sort of focus on, and obviously too, people use Audible and Kindle and all that kind of stuff. So,
Mhm.
everybody's a little bit different, but yeah, I love that. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit about Sheena Yap Chan's book. I'm very curious about it. Definitely want to check it out. So, Mariah, tell me a little bit about what you dream about. What is like your biggest dream that you have for yourself and your business as, we look ahead? We're still in a new year, so,
Yeah. So, thanks for asking. So, the biggest dream I have, I guess, the main goal of the whole business, and I guess, is to have our time back, so I can be making money and hanging out with the kids. So I got something working for me in the background. If you want to
Yes,
keep it real, but you know,
yes.
so that's part of it on my side. But also, when you think about it, like building up first time leaders, building up your community, like what is the downfall of having, you know, being surrounded by critical thinkers,
Right.
like leaders who have the resources to do whatever. I'm in the Bay Area, so we're around a lot of, you know, um, there's a gap. I'll say there's a
Yeah.
gap. We have a lot of a gap everywhere. So it's kind of bridging that gap with resources, with the power within, and um, toppling it off with resources, and that's what I dream about, is just having, everybody having access to everything, and
Right.
recognizing the leader within themselves. And yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That is a beautiful dream, and I love that you're working on it. Would you consider yourself ambitious, Mariah?
Would I consider myself ambitious? And I love this question on your show. So I will say, I'll end it with a quote. We have the power of gods, but not the realization. So you take it whatever. You call me
Mm.
ambitious, but yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Whose
that's,
quote is that? Who said that?
I read it in a book. I got the book is the
One of your
global,
books.
yeah, the global heart awakens, Anadea Judith.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
okay.
there's a lot of
Alright.
quotes in this book. So there's a good book for everything, whatever journey you're on. And how I read the books, I will say, is audiobooks. So I'll be on a walk with my
Yeah.
kids and listening to a book. So don't, take the step. I know we all love a good hard book, but just take the step, listen to the book.
Listen, same. I love it. I love a good listening as well. It's easier for me.
Yes, yes,
It's easier. Get through it faster too, you
yes,
know.
exactly. There you go.
Yeah. So Mariah, how can we find you? How can we support you in the network?
Yeah. So follow me on like Mariah Hancock on LinkedIn. Go to the network-california.com and subscribe. We're going to have some resources go out soon. I have more help with that on my email newsletter. We've been quiet for the holidays, but newsletters getting back out. And I hope to bombard you all with resources. I'm just not bombard you, but whatever you want to do, you have access to it. There'll
Yeah.
be a directory, if you will, of mentors,
Mm,
whatever field you want to go in.
yeah.
Perhaps there will be a mentor in there. So a lot of things in the work at the network. Go ahead and subscribe on the website.
I love that there's a lot of things in the works at the network. So,
There
you
you
know,
go.
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I
you, Trish.
appreciate you taking, your time. I know you are busy, busy mom, busy entrepreneur, busy working a full-time job. You're doing all the things. So I don't take it for granted that you chose to give me some of your time today. And I want to thank you so much, Mariah. I appreciate you, you know.
Thank you. Yeah,
So,
thank you. I'm surprised the kid didn't run in here. I thought, but we're good. So. Thank you, Trish. Thank you for. Oh, go for it.
yeah, no, I appreciate you being on the show. So thank you so much. And yeah, well, we'll still be in touch and see each other and do all the things. So,
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
can't
but
wait.
yeah, of course. Well, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join Too Ambitious. I'll be back again next week, next Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, with another phenomenal woman who is changing the world and sharing her innovative ideas with all of us so that we can all rise to the top, right?
Sharing the
Yes.
resources. There you go, Trish.
And there you go. So I'll see you all. Thanks for joining. Have a good